Good morning. I am Reshma. To continue with the third part of the poem Porphyria's Lover by Robert Browning. In the two videos, we had seen how Porphyria had left her house in a stormy, windy night and come to her lover's house, how she had explained that she loved him very much and she had broken all the barriers of the society, the customs of her guardians, and how she told him that she loved him very much. And while she was explaining everything, her lover thought of a plan and he executed that plan. He took her long golden hair and strangled them 3 times round her soft neck and pulled them. And after some time, he untied them and made sure to see that whether she was dead and found that her cheeks were still blushing and her head had dropped down on his shoulder, and her face was still bright with a glad wish which was fulfilled to meet her lover and die in his lap. Now, to continue with the last para, the dead and the living. Now, here Porphyria is the dead and the living. The writer, they both sat together the whole night without stringing for a moment. That is, without moving for a movement. And God did not express his disapproval of the lover's act. That is, even God did not say a word. Perhaps God approved the unconventional action of Porphyria in running away from her home. It means God had also supported Porphyria for doing such an unconventional action from running away from her home and the abnormal act of murder committed by her lover in order to make her his own forever. Means God also did not say anything. So, in the end, we can just conclude by saying that everything what was being done or what was done with the wish of God. God did not say a word. Coming to the language of the monologue is full of clarity. It is easily dignified and free from all difficulties. The language is transparent, and the intention of writing the monologue is also very clear. Here, some writers call this a social satire. Satire is a comment or on the pride of rank and birth. Some others call it an abnormal psychology. But there is no doubt that Robert Browning is always known for his writes on bold actions, and there is no justification for believing that why he had to go to the extent of advocating the murder even for the sake of love. Now we also may have a doubt. Porphyria had left or broken all the social barriers, and she had surrendered herself to her lover, then why was there a need for her lover to kill or murder her? But at the end, as the writer says, and yet God has not said a word. It means there was a divine approval. That is what the poet is trying to say. Now, the next question which arises is, was the lover insane? Insane is somebody who is mentally disturbed. But here, the lover has committed the murder, but as the poetry was going on, there are no facts which narrate that the poem or that the writer had any mental disorder. So we cannot say that the crime was committed in any mentally disordered condition, or it was just in an excitement of feeling. He had desperate deeds, so maybe he had done something of this kind, or maybe there could be any mental allegations. But anyway, whatever it is, the main interest is the monologue is gripping. Gripping is increasing the interest. The deed around which the poem is built is horrible. Like the poem starts with a stormy, windy night, a girl leaving all her parents, breaking all the social barriers, a feast going around in her house, and she comes to meet her lover, and she expresses her love for her lover and wants to surrender herself, but at the same time, the lover, instead of expressing his love for her, just murders her. So, in simple language, we can say it can be called a cold blooded murder. The deed around which the poem is built can be horrible, but still it carries its own charm and fascination. It is one of the easiest monologues which is written with full intensity and beauty. The poet has given a peep into the human soul. Like the way he has described the beauty of Porphyria, that is, he has given the peep into the human soul. And he hasn't, in the end, like he says, God has not said a word. So here he hasn't created any horror or disgust in the minds of the writer. So he just says it is all naturally what is done, and what was done with the, we can say, help of the God, or with the permissions of God, because God hasn't said anything at the end. So this is all about the poem Porphyria's Lover. We have completed this poem in the 3 parts. Thank you.